Hello, Tark, our friends. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again, it is time for another Orc Mode workout. And today was max effort, a lower day, but a quick reminder for those of you who watch these videos. Please remember to click like down below, it'd be greatly appreciated. I didn't train at all during my deload week, so again, it can always be a little rough coming back. I have a ridiculous amount of DOMs in my upper body today, so that kind of dropped any ideas that I had about trying to work with a straight bar. And I am contemplating doing something that breaks my own advice, and that's to start switching stuff up to where I do lower body before upper in my rotation. Seriously thought about it. And because of the coaching, I pretty much have to stick to training on weekdays. So it's not even an option for me to rotate stuff into the weekend. Weekends are so busy with my business that there is no way I can train. Right, so I'm pretty much limited to weekdays as far as getting this done. Plus, again, I'm not disturbing people nearby and stuff on the weekends who are home. So I basically train during normal business hours. But that squat today was pretty tough. It was 421 on this box with that bar with 54 pounds of chains. Now, considering that's only 20 pounds of bar weight less than my best squat with that bar on that box, that's actually pretty good. It's indicative of a PR, but it was tough. It was tough. But back over to that other point, I'm actually contemplating that just because of the shoulder, again, DOMs and chest DOMs and everything can make getting under that straight bar harder. I'm actually considering doing that purely for squatting purposes. That, and I do so much back work that I do notice it affects stuff like my good mornings and other stuff. My lats are really fatigued sometimes coming into it, and I have a feeling that'll start carrying over to deadlifts when I start maxing on deadlifts again. So I'm actually debating the idea, and I may do it. Again, I don't program a single one of my clients that way, though, for those curious. But today's workout overall was good. I did something different because I programmed some single leg work for my different lifters. Some of them do step up, some of them do split squats. As you guys will see after I get done with the good mornings, I went and did some split squats. Now, with my balance, it's pretty hard for me to do single leg exercises, and I've got to admit the split squats were pretty hard. Oh, for those curious, the good mornings are what I did last time. I did 301 for 3 sets of 10. So we've moved up on this. I'm probably ready to PR on this exercise for a 1 rep max. And I'll probably test it again when I start doing double maxes on the lower days, which I'll probably start doing by the end of this training cycle. I could throw that in there after a squat. But when we get to the split squats, and when balance comes up, I have to say this, and I do get tired of having to say it. Do not offer me advice on correcting my balance. I do not have a sense of balance, and I don't mean that as an exaggeration. It's not a joke. It's not trolling. I do not medically possess a sense of balance. There is no training or exercises that I can do to restore it any more than you could do exercises for a blind person's eyes, right? And so on and so forth. I have a pretty advanced, very long-term vestibular disorder, okay? I do not have a sense of balance at all. Zero. I should not be able to do the things that I do. In fact, my doctors were pretty impressed originally when I started squatting and stuff again. So, my balance is pretty rough, especially I've noticed when I'm doing the left leg. Every single one of these sets, because I haven't really messed with this, I just messed with the empty bar first. I have never done these with the foot elevated, right? So this was actually new for me. I've never messed with any sort of split squat with the elevated foot at all. I've done normal split squats. Right, I've done lunges, I've done step ups, but I really wanted to mess with some of these because, again, I feel like it can bring up my quads a little bit, my quads and my hips and everything, while being easy to recover from. The same reason I was doing the belt squats. Now, I'm going to say this turned out to be harder than I thought it was going to be. The first set just looked horrible, but you guys will notice every single time I cannot complete a set all the way through on my left foot. It's because I am falling over. Right? It's hard for me to get a sense of balance. Now I'm using the safety bar because, again, stiffness and everything in the shoulders. No point putting that extra stress on my shoulders when it's not a real squat. And I have the benefit of this bar. But I did a lot better on the right foot. I was able to kind of finish through. So I kind of let my left lead, and I ended up getting more reps with the left because it's weaker anyways. And I think because it's weaker, that was a factor. Plus, again, me almost falling over is a factor. So you guys notice each time there I'm having to reset. And the reason I'm resetting is that I feel my body shifting in such a way that I feel that I'm going to fall over. I might not have been at risk of it, but I have no real way to always sense that, so I always play it safe. But ultimately, I ended up, I think, doing more total reps on the left leg, which again is fine, it's my weaker leg. But it was much easier on the right side. And again, partially due to my lack of balance and trying to get the right positions on it, partially due probably to the fact that my left quad is probably slightly weaker, right? Exercises like this will help correct that. Now, I didn't enjoy this exercise at all. I'm going to just say straight up, I didn't like it. It sucked. However, I'm going to keep doing it because I know it will help me. Especially if I'm going to do only box squatting, I know it'll help make sure my quads grow, right? It'll make sure my hips get enough stimulation, easy to recover from. I think I'll benefit from it. As much as I might dislike it, as much as I might look awkward doing it, as much as some people could laugh at me losing my balance, at the end of the day, getting stronger is worth it. But, you know, again, a lot of these one-legged exercises suck. They're not fun. I don't like them particularly. But I'll benefit from it, so I'm going to do it. Glute bridges went up 20 pounds. Last time I did these, I did 505. It was easy for sets of 12. So we did sets of 10 with 525. So we went up 20 pounds. And again, getting your footing is a little bit hard on these. And I take these up about as high as I can really go, where it feels locked to me. Other people can say, well, I don't like your range of motion. And you know what? I don't care. You do it. You do better. Because if I do less weight than this, it doesn't feel like I'm working anything. Like if I put 405 on there and do sets of 30 reps, I don't feel much. So there's no point in doing that. So again, I feel my glutes contract at the top. I feel my glutes doing a lot of work, even though, again, getting the position's a little awkward. So that's what matters to me. And yes, I'm aware this is a short range of motion exercise. So why do it? Deadlift lockouts. It's there just to help me with locking out my deadlift, a little bit of extra glute activation. I could easily replace these with something else. I just want the extra glute work. Just like I'm doing the really, really deep box work for the box squats. Helps develop stronger glutes. I could replace these with a Romanian deadlift if I wanted. It would work glutes pretty effectively too. But again, right now, I feel like this will help me a lot with my deadlift lockouts. Sometimes the lockouts have been a weak link for me in the past. I haven't done any heavy pulls in a while, but I will start doing them again soon. And I want to make sure I have all these weak links shored up. I need my deadlift to be strong all the way across. That's why I'm doing all that grip work. All the dead hangs actually help with my grip. That's why I'm doing a lot more pull-ups and chin-ups. They're back exercises that hit the grip hard, and I'm trying to build up my back. Right? I really want my deadlifts to go up. Since I'm cutting, the deadlift is the easiest lift to bring up while you're cutting due to the nature of it. So I'm hoping I can still build some deadlift strength while I'm in the middle of this cut. I may not build any real pressing strength, you know, unless again I get some novel training response or some muscle memory kicks in from muscles that might have atrophied because I backed off on certain things due to that impingement. So that's my only hope of the press going up, any of my pressing, but I'm going to work on it. But I feel like the deadlift, there's room for improvement, because if I can progress on these accessory movements, I can get my movement pattern down by doing more speed pulling, my deadlift can go up. And I just want to make sure, that I don't have any weak links on the deadlift. Because at this point, you guys have seen me pull over 600 on multiple variations, everything from the conventional to block pulls, deficit pulls, right? I'm pretty much elite deadlifter as far as my categories go. I can't have any weak links. If I want my deadlift to even stay there while I cut or to go up at all, I can't afford any weak links. Can't afford a weak link in my grip. I can't afford a weak link in my lats, my glutes, hamstrings, anything. So I'm going to push it pretty hard because the deadlift is going to count the most towards my total. It's going to count the most towards my total. If I want to knock down total records, the deadlift is really going to make or break me. So I'm going to put a lot of effort into it. And that means a lot of accessory work into it. And again, fortunately, a lot of it improves the squat also. Some of it can carry over to benching. But I only did 2 sets of the glute ham raises today. Why? My hamstrings were starting to cramp. Again, last week was a week off, deload week, and a week off. hamstrings didn't get worked at all. They were cramping after those 2 sets. So to play it safe, I stopped there. Make my life a lot easier. Stopped at 2 good work sets. Then went over to the reverse hypers. And I noticed by the time I got to the reverse hypers, I can feel that fatigue there. Again, work capacity and strength tend to drop for me when I take any time off. I could tell when I got to these were really hard today, that it had been a week off. Because actually, surprisingly, I did pretty good on the squat. Relative to that box and that bar, I was actually quite happy with the squat. We didn't lose any strength there. If anything, it might be indicative of a PR. If I were to just try that same bar without the chains, I might have a PR in the tank based upon that. So that was good. But I did notice when I got to this other stuff, the work capacity hit. And it just has to do with the amount of hard stuff I did going into all of it, combined with, again, losing a little bit of it from a week off. But it'll come back by the end of this week. That work capacity usually comes back within one workout. I should be good and strong again by next week for the max effort day. And like I said, I'm going to seriously contemplate switching those. I won't switch it at the end of the week because it would only be 48 hours between lower days. I don't think that's ideal. I mean, I could do it. I might do it. Who knows? You guys know how I am. I change my mind with things like that when I want to implement it. Sometimes if I want to implement something later, I implement it sooner. But I'm very heavily leaning towards it for next week, of switching them just to see if it lets me get under that straight bar more, because I need to be able to do my speed work under that straight bar. Got to get used to it again. You know, the shoulder is rehabbed, the mobility's not perfect. Continuing to work on it, but I've got to get used to getting under that straight bar. And I think speed work will be the best way to do it. But I can't do it if my shoulders and chest are beat up from the day before. Right? And that's going to be a problem because I am pushing that stuff super hard because I need my bench to come up. So again, I've got a couple days to think about it. But overall, good workout. Didn't like doing the split squats, but they'll be beneficial. So I'll keep doing them. So I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.